Success, peace, power. Sounds good, right? But what if I told you most people chase these things the wrong way, and that's why they feel burnt out, lost, or never enough? You hustle hard, but life still feels heavy. You achieve goals, but you're still anxious. That's where Stoicism comes in. It's not just ancient philosophy, it's a guide to winning in life without losing yourself. If you're ready to stop reacting and start ruling your life with calm, control, and clarity, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell icon. Let's dive in. How to be successful in life using Stoicism. Point 1. Define success the Stoic way. What if everything you've ever believed about success was wrong? Not completely wrong, but just off enough to keep you chasing something that never really satisfies. We're taught to believe that success means having more money, more followers, more achievements, more validation. But the more we chase it, the more it slips away. The Stoics saw this thousands of years ago. They understood something most of us forget in the rush of modern life. Success isn't about what you have, it's about who you are. Think about it. How many people do you know who have the things society says define success? Fancy job titles, expensive clothes, followers, awards, but they're stressed, angry, anxious, or just empty inside. That's because real success isn't found in what's outside of you. It starts within. And Stoicism, at its core, teaches exactly that. The Stoics, people like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, believed that the highest form of success was to live a life of virtue, not in a preachy or perfect way, but in a deeply practical one. To them, being successful meant being courageous in hard times, wise in your choices, disciplined in your habits, and fair in how you treat others. That's it. No need to impress, no need to compete. Just live by your principles and let the rest fall into place. Here's where this hits home. When you define success based on your character, not your circumstances, you take back your power. You're no longer a slave to results, to what others think, or to whether life is going your way. Instead, your worth is tied to what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your values. And that's incredibly freeing. Let's say you're trying to learn something new, like a language or a skill. If your definition of success is just getting fluent fast or being perfect, you're going to get frustrated, maybe even quit. But if your goal is to show up every day with discipline, humility, and a willingness to grow, then every moment becomes a success, even the messy ones. You're winning just by sticking to your principles. The same applies in relationships, work, and even setbacks. It's all training. It's all growth. Now, I get it, this sounds good in theory, but it's hard to live by in the real world. We're constantly bombarded with other people's highlight reels. It's easy to feel behind or like we're not doing enough. But Stoicism gives you a mental shield. It reminds you your value doesn't come from external wins. It comes from how you carry yourself, how you respond to life, and how true you stay to your inner compass. Success, in the Stoic sense, doesn't mean you don't dream big. It means you dream responsibly. You act without being attached to the outcome. You work hard, but you don't tie your identity to results. That mindset gives you resilience. Because when things don't go your way, and they often won't, you won't crumble. You'll adjust, learn, and keep moving with dignity. In a way, this kind of success is quiet. It won't always get applause. But it gives you something louder: peace. And in a world addicted to noise, peace is power. So ask yourself not what do I want to have in life, but who do I want to be? That one question could change everything. If this resonates with you, stick around. We're just getting started. Point 2. Control what you can. Accept what you can. Imagine how different your life would be if you stopped worrying about things you can't control. Really think about that. How much energy would you get back? How much peace? Most of us live like we're responsible for everything: the weather, people's opinions, outcomes, timing, even luck. And that weight? It's exhausting. Stoicism gives us one of the most powerful mindset shifts you'll ever learn. Focus only on what you can control and let go of the rest. Simple. Life-changing. Let's break that down. Every day you face situations that test your patience, your confidence, your peace of mind. Someone cuts you off in traffic. You don't get the results you wanted. Someone misunderstands you or doesn't treat you the way you hoped. The natural reaction is frustration, maybe self-doubt, even anger. But here's the thing, most of those reactions come from trying to control the uncontrollable. The Stoics call this the dichotomy of control. Epictetus said it best, some things are up to us, and some things are not. And true success comes from knowing the difference. You can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control whether your plans go perfectly, but you can control the effort you put in. You can't control how fast you learn something, but you can control whether or not you keep showing up. When you live like this, you take back your peace. You stop reacting to everything. You stop living on an emotional roller coaster, going up and down depending on what life throws at you. You become centered, grounded, focused. Here's a real-world example. Let's say you're working hard on a goal, maybe mastering a skill, starting a business, or improving your communication. You do everything right. You plan, practice, stay consistent, but things still don't go as expected. Maybe people don't support you. Maybe you don't see fast results. If your mindset is based on controlling the outcome, you'll feel like a failure. But if your mindset is based on controlling your actions, then guess what? You've already won, because you showed up. You gave your best. And that's success the Stoic way. This shift also frees you from the trap of blaming. Think about how much time people waste blaming others, the system, their past, or their circumstances. Now, yes, life can be unfair. But Stoicism teaches you to ask a better question: what can I do with what I have right now? That mindset turns victims into creators. It turns complaints into action. And ironically, once you start focusing on what you can control, your thoughts, your decisions, your attitude, you often start influencing the things you once thought were out of reach. You become more effective, more calm, more respected. People notice that quiet strength in you. That's the kind of success that lasts. Of course, this mindset takes practice. It won't come overnight. But every time you catch yourself stressing over something you can't control and you let it go, even just a little, you get stronger. You get freer. And that's the kind of inner success that builds real outer success over time. So the next time life throws you off balance, pause and ask, is this within my control? If it is, act with purpose. If it's not, release it. Either way, you win. Stick around, because we're just getting warmed up. The Stoic path isn't always easy, but it's powerful. And it just might be the key to the life you've been chasing. Point 3, practice daily discipline. Everyone wants to be successful until they realize success is hidden in the boring stuff. The small habits, the quiet mornings, the daily decisions no one sees. That's where the real transformation happens. But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. If you can't master your daily routine, you'll never master your life. That's where Stoicism steps in, with one of its most powerful principles: discipline. Not the loud, forceful kind. The quiet, consistent kind that builds unshakable strength from the inside out. Think about this. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, was also the emperor of Rome. He had pressure, responsibilities, and distractions we can't even imagine. Yet every morning he wrote in his journal, reflecting, grounding himself, choosing how he would show up that day. That's discipline. Not for the world, but for himself. And that's what makes the Stoic version of success so different. It's not about achieving more. It's about becoming more focused, more intentional, more in control of your own mind. And the only way to get there, daily discipline. You don't have to do everything, but you do have to do something consistently. Whether it's getting up early to work on a personal goal, practicing a new language, being present in your relationships, or training your emotions not to explode under pressure, your daily habits are shaping your future right now. Stoicism isn't about huge breakthroughs. It's about stacking tiny wins. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it." That means you don't need to talk about self-control, you live it when you scroll past distractions. You don't need to preach about growth, you live it when you read a few pages instead of watching mindless content. You don't need to tell people you're serious, you prove it every day in how you show up. But let's be real, discipline is hard. Especially when there's no instant reward. Especially when no one's clapping for you. But here's where Stoicism gives you a secret weapon: purpose. When you tie your daily habits to your deeper values, your why, it becomes less about willpower and more about identity. Ask yourself, who do I want to become? What kind of life do I want to build? And what's the smallest step I can take today to move in that direction? Maybe it's saying no to one distraction. Maybe it's practicing calm when someone annoys you. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to invest in yourself. These may seem small, but that's the point. Discipline isn't built in extremes. It's built in the in-betweens, the quiet moments, the decision to stay the course even when no one's watching. And here's what's beautiful about discipline: it compounds. One small act of self-mastery leads to another. You start trusting yourself more. You feel less like life is controlling you, and more like you're steering the ship. That's the kind of success no one can take from you. Not a job, not a relationship, not a title. Just you and your daily choices, building something solid brick by brick. So if you want to live a successful life through the lens of Stoicism, don't wait for motivation. Build habits, build rituals, build a routine that reflects your values. Because when your actions match your purpose, that's when things start to shift, not just on the outside, but deep within. Stick around. This journey isn't just about thinking better. It's about living better. One disciplined day at. Point 4. Turn obstacles into opportunities. What if the very thing you're running from is the thing that could change your life? Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. How often do we avoid pain, discomfort, or failure, thinking they're signs we're off track, when they're actually the very tools life uses to shape us? In Stoicism, there's a powerful idea: the obstacle is the way. It's not just a catchy phrase, it's a whole mindset. A way of seeing challenges not as roadblocks, but as raw material for growth and transformation. Most people view obstacles as something negative: a delay in plans, a broken relationship, a failed attempt. They get discouraged, feel stuck, or start doubting themselves. But Stoics flip the script. They ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because every challenge carries within it a hidden opportunity, a lesson, a skill, a shift in perspective that you couldn't get any other way. Let's take a simple example. You're trying to build something: a career, a habit, a relationship, and suddenly things fall apart. You lose momentum, you get rejected, you make a mistake. In that moment, most people see failure. But the Stoic sees a doorway. Maybe it's a chance to build resilience, to let go of ego, to become more focused, more strategic, more humble. The failure becomes a forge. It burns away the weakness and shapes something stronger in you. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just philosophy, it's a mindset for life. A way to turn pain into purpose. Think about anyone you admire, whether it's a creator, a thinker, an athlete, or a leader. Their greatness didn't come in moments of ease. It was forged in pressure, in adversity, in the moments when things didn't go their way, but they kept going anyway. That's not luck. That's perspective. That's Stoicism in motion. Here's the key. When you see obstacles as teachers, they stop being your enemy. That failed project, it showed you what not to do next time. That toxic relationship, it taught you your worth. That long season of waiting, it trained your patience and self-trust. Nothing is wasted when you use it well. Now, let's be honest, this mindset doesn't come naturally. Your first reaction to pain will always be resistance, but that's the training ground. Stoicism teaches us to pause in that moment and ask better questions. Not why me, but what now? Not how do I get rid of this, but how do I grow through this? And the more you do that, the more powerful you become. You stop fearing challenges because you know they sharpen you. You stop avoiding discomfort because you realize that's where growth happens. You stop quitting at the first sign of failure because you've learned that failure isn't the end, it's part of the process. Over time, this creates a quiet confidence, not the loud, look at me kind, but the grounded, unshakable kind. The kind of confidence that doesn't need things to go perfectly because it knows how to rise when they don't. So next time life throws something hard at you, pause, breathe, then lean in. That obstacle isn't in the way, it is the way. And the person you become by facing it, that's the real success. If this shifted your perspective even just a little, stay with me. There's more ahead. And together, we're not just learning how to survive life, we're learning how to use every part of it to thrive. Point 5, detach from external validation. What if I told you that one of the biggest things holding you back isn't failure? It's the need to be liked. Sounds harsh, but think about it. How many times have you doubted yourself just because someone didn't approve? How often have you held back from doing what felt right for you just to fit in? Deep down, so many people are living lives that aren't really theirs because they're addicted to external validation. The Stoics saw through this illusion a long time ago, and their answer was clear: don't chase applause, chase alignment with your values. This is one of the most freeing and powerful shifts you can make on your journey to success. Because the truth is, the more you care about what everyone else thinks, the less space you have to become who you truly are. Stoicism teaches us to detach from the opinions of others, not because we don't care about people, but because we care more about living with integrity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." And he was right. We give so much weight to what others might say, even when those people don't live our lives, understand our values, or share our vision. But here's the thing, you can't build a meaningful life if it's constantly shaped by outside noise. Real success isn't loud. It's not found in likes, followers, praise, or recognition. It's found in the quiet moments when you know you did the right thing even if no one noticed. It's when you stand by your principles, even when it's uncomfortable. It's when you choose growth over approval, truth over popularity, peace over performance. Stoicism doesn't tell you to become cold or disconnected. It tells you to become centered. So when praise comes, you're not inflated. When criticism comes, you're not crushed. You take both with calm because you know neither defines you. What defines you is how you think, how you act, and how closely you live to your own values. Let's make it real. Say you're building a new habit, maybe waking up earlier, reading more, or learning something new. Some people might not get it. They might joke about it or even discourage you. If you're craving their approval, you might quit before you even start. But if your focus is internal, on discipline, growth, alignment, then it doesn't matter what they think. You're building something deeper than validation. You're building self-respect, and that's the real reward. When you live by your values, you don't need to be told you're doing great, you feel it. You walk with a kind of peace that can't be faked, a quiet confidence that doesn't need the spotlight, because it's rooted in truth. That's Stoic success. That's freedom. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. The pull for approval runs deep, especially in a world where we're constantly online, constantly performing. But each time you choose to do what's right over what's popular, each time you take action without waiting for someone to validate it, you take one more step toward the kind of life that actually fulfills you. So the next time you catch yourself holding back because of what they might say, pause. Ask yourself, whose voice matters most, mine or theirs? Choose your own. Live from the inside out, Stick with me. We're not done yet. Because when you stop chasing approval and start living with purpose, everything begins to change, from how you feel, to what you build, to the impact you leave behind. Point 6. Live with purpose and presence. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling completely grounded no matter what happens. Whether things go your way or fall apart, you stay calm, focused, and steady. That's not a fantasy. That's the power of emotional resilience. And Stoicism is one of the best tools on earth to build it. Because the truth is, success isn't just about talent or timing, it's about how well you manage your emotions when things get tough. Life is unpredictable. You will face stress, disappointment, heartbreak, failure. But here's the catch: it's not the event that defines your life. It's your response. Most people get swept away by their emotions. One setback can ruin their day. One insult can ruin their week. They become prisoners of how they feel in the moment. But the Stoics knew better. They taught that emotions are not the enemy, but they should never be the master. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That single idea has the power to change your entire life. Because the moment you realize that your emotions are yours to manage, not just endure, you take back control. You stop being a victim of mood swings, and you start becoming the author of your reactions. But let's be clear, Stoicism doesn't mean suppressing how you feel. It means observing your emotions without letting them hijack your decisions. Feel the anger, feel the fear, feel the anxiety, but don't become it. Step back, reflect, respond with intention, not impulse. This ability is like a superpower, especially in high-pressure situations. Whether you're leading a team, pursuing a goal, or handling conflict in a relationship, your ability to remain emotionally steady makes you more trustworthy, more focused, and more effective. Because while everyone else is panicking, you're thinking clearly. While others are blaming, you're adapting. That's real strength. And it's rare. So how do you build this kind of resilience? It starts with awareness. You begin to notice your emotional triggers. The things that make you snap, spiral, or shut down. Instead of reacting automatically, you pause. You breathe. You ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or hurting me right now? That question alone can save you from making decisions you'll regret. Next comes the practice of perspective. One of the Stoics' favorite tools was negative visualization, mentally preparing for things to go wrong, not to be pessimistic, but to strengthen their emotional stability. When you expect obstacles, you're not shocked by them. When you imagine losing something, you appreciate it more while it's here. And when you accept that life will bring both joy and pain, you stop resisting reality and start flowing with it. And finally, you build emotional discipline the same way you build muscle: repetition. Every time you respond calmly instead of lashing out, you're training your mind. Every time you resist the urge to complain and choose action instead, you're getting stronger. Over time, this becomes who you are: not cold or detached, but powerful, clear, and emotionally intelligent. In a world where emotions are constantly being triggered by news, by social media, by daily life, this kind of groundedness is rare. And that's what makes it valuable. People will feel it in you. You'll feel it in yourself. And that stability will not only help you succeed, it will attract the right opportunities, relationships, and growth. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, remember, you don't need to control the world. You just need to control your response to it. That's where your power is. That's where your peace lies. This is how Stoicism helps you master life, not just when things are easy, but especially when they're hard. And if you're still with me, you already have what it takes to walk this path. Keep going. You're not just learning Stoicism, you're living it.